Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
All right, welcome everybody to the U.S. Legends Open Series presented by Potter County Diggers. My name is Ryan Ezell, and always by my side is David Edwards, and welcome to Evolution Racing Network, your best and most favorite and fun to join sim racing broadcast company out there. All jokes aside, guys, we are excited to be here. I'm going to go ahead and preface this entire broadcast with me and David are both a little under the weather. Are we not, David?
Yeah, a little bit.
That ain't gonna stop us, so.
No, we're here. We're going to do the best we can and put on a good show for everybody out there. And just hope you guys enjoy the action we're going to bring to you tonight.
That's right. That was David Edwards. You see on your screen right now, our drivers have just started their 5-minute qualifying session. We will throw up the qualifying grid here so you can see where the times are. These guys have been racing all season long. This is race number 12 from Langley Speedway. 125 laps, super small track. Not a lot of banking at all. Very little banking in this, David.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, there's a little bit there. I went and watched the guys in practice. They've also been using the apron a lot. They're using getting down below the yellow line right there and hugging that flat part, using kind of the transition to help control the car and help turn it. But, yeah, for the most part, this place is flat.
Yeah, and these guys are going to be throwing down sub-17-second laps. As we see, Will Brinkley, one of the guys that has just had a few weeks off in the middle of the season and wasn't able to join the league, has now been here. I want to talk a few things that kind of the highlights of tonight is going to be the points battle. We're in race 12 of 14. We have 2 more races after this one. We have a road course and at Summit Point, and then we end the season at Oxford Plains for another 125 laps. So tonight is going to be a very important race, but one of the guys that is back that so many people were excited to see gone because they were able to gather back up some point spread is Ryan Bean. Ryan Bean was out doing his duties in the military for the last couple of weeks, was unable to be here the last 2 weeks. So this has allowed a lot of people to be able to gather up some of that spread in the points, because currently right now Ryan Bean has fallen from first to second only by 2 points. A league owner, Rusty Modesty, is actually your current points leader. We'll go through that later on down the road. You got several guys with wins tonight, but the reality is we have 125 laps of door slamming action here from Langley, and this is going to be fun to watch, and it's going to be interesting to see who buckles under the pressure and who comes out smelling like roses on the other side.
Yeah, you made mention of it, last week with Ryan B being out, as he goes to the top of the board here with the 16.720. him being out or allowed Rusty Marcy to jump points and actually allowed Harold Watkins, Nolan Potter, and Andrew Little all to catch up a little bit. So I'm sure Ryan's glad to be back in the car tonight and looking to retake that points lead and hopefully extend it out a little bit.
That's right. And, it's a tight points battle, especially within the top three. So it's really anyone's race to win. Ryan Bean has been by far the class of the field all season long. And it doesn't matter what kind of track it is, whether it's a road course, short track. He has just dominated. But in the last couple of weeks, we've had a couple of guys kind of come and show what they're made of as well and show that they have a right to be up there fighting for it. And that's Rusty Modesty, Harold Watkins, Nolan Potter, and Andrew Little, and even Will Brinkley being back at it for the last couple of weeks. So it'll be interesting to see how this thing plays out tonight. But as of right now, it looks like all 11 drivers have taken time. We've got about 1 more minute of qualifying left, so let's go ahead and throw up the details of the race tonight. You've got a 0.4 mile track, 0.36 to be exact. Temperatures are pretty warm, so it could be a little slick, especially with these high horsepower, low weight ratio, twitchy cars, as we say. 125 laps tonight. Admin cautions. It'll be interesting to see. Let's talk about Langley a little bit. Still a very active track in Hampton, Virginia. It was established in the 1940s, paved in the 60s, I believe. It's still fully active, and it hosts 11 different divisions. So late models to modifieds to these current legends, super trucks, enduros, you name it. They still run here week after week. And last week's winner, Harold Watkins, is looking to see if he can put another one on the board. David, what's going to be your thoughts for the race tonight?
Watching these guys in practice, we talk about it every week, especially these smaller ovals, the power weight ratio, and these guys get loose. Saw a few of them more than one time get loose coming off of 4 and off of 2 there, trying to get the power down. So that's going to be a big one to watch tonight. And then just, everybody wants the bottom here. I'm not sure how much how much of a 2-lane track it's going to be tonight, but the preferred line's down around the bottom. A couple different lines getting run, but all in all, it's going to be a fight for the bottom.
That's right. And real quick, before these guys get going, let's talk to our pole sitter, Ryan Bean. Ryan, welcome back to the booth and welcome back to racing.
Hey, guys. Man, I love hearing y'all's voices.
Well, hey, we really appreciate you going out and providing the service that you do, being in the an active military service member. So thank you. But we are excited to have you back. And real quick, before you guys get going, what's the key tonight? Do you think you can be able to hold it off and get back in the groove?
Man, I'll tell you what, it's been a while since I've sat in this seat, and I miss it. But right now we're at the end of the season. Wins are nice, but at this point, I gave up a lot of points. I got to get some points back. So name of the game tonight is just really primarily beat Rusty. I need that points lead back. So I mean, if I can win, cool. But I'm not gonna try to put my nose where it doesn't belong, because gaining points is so hard in this league, but losing them is really easy.
Well, you ain't lying. Well, brother, I'll let you get back with your team. Good luck tonight, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you towards the end.
Yes, sir. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks, guys. Well, that right there, Ryan Bean, man, I'm telling you, he is going to be a tough one to beat. Before we get started, though, real quick, let's take a look at the grid and how they start. Go through this real fast. We've got Ryan Bean on the pole that you just heard. Will Brinkley starting outside. Very familiar. Those guys have started side by side many a times. Harold Rothery and Harold Watkins make up your second row. Nolan Potter and Rusty Modesty, league owner, make up row 3.
Row 4, you've got the 3 of Robert Fitzpatrick Jr. and the 13 of Jerry Culver starting his outside. Row 5 is the 68 of Andrew Little and the 48 of Robert Fitzpatrick Sr. And starting shotgun on the field in 11th is Kevin Zab in the 17.
That's right. Well, folks, welcome to Langley Speedway. U.S. Legends and Evolution Racing Network. Strap in. It's going to be fun. They're getting stacked and racked and ready to roll. We'll be having the green flag here shortly. And we can't start this thing off without congratulating Jerry Culver and his wife and the whole family. Sherry Culver, our #1 fan out there. Jerry had his baby today at 12:30 a.m. So congratulations, Jerry, on baby number 3, and I'm sure you're a proud papa, so go out there and get you a win, brother.
Oh yeah, just add another one to the racing family there, and I'm sure we'll be seeing that one here in the next 5 or 7 years out here beating doors with these guys as well.
Oh, yeah. Well, they are getting ready. You're going to see that iRacing.com official pace car dip down to pit road, and Ryan Bean will be the control car, and he will have the field, the control of the field, and they'll be going green here any second. Gets a great launch. Will Brinkley, though, is not letting him out of his sight. The 4 of Harold Rothery right behind him. Gets a little wide on that corner exit. Will pinched him down. They're drag racing down the backstretch and into 3 and 4 for second spot.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how quick these guys get single file. See Harold Watkins there stuck on the outside. Battling a little bit. Oh, as Robert Fitzpatrick Jr. gets a little loose.
Oh, and
Will Brinkley's around.
Oh, that is. Let's go back and take a look at the ERN replay here and see exactly what happened. Excuse me, folks. Sorry about that.
There's Microsoft stand with your window security.
Oh, you gotta love it. Let's see. Let's go take a look at what happened to Will Brinkley here. You see, he gets the run there, tries to go in. Oh, wow. It's twice his car, the front end, and I think that's why Bob Fitzpatrick let out of the throttle and went wide. Man, let's go.
Yeah, it looks like he just got loose under braking there. It looks like he went driving in and Harold didn't drive it as far as he thought he would, and just under braking there, just got loose and then essentially
very
wrecked all the way. Yeah, wrecked all the way through 1 and 2. Just finally spun it out coming out of 2.
Yeah, and we have mentioned it, and we have talked about it over and over and over this season, how twitchy these cars are. In a 3,500-pound stock car, you have a little more time to react and counter steer and kind of collect the car if the rear starts breaking loose. In these little cars, you have a millisecond, and sometimes that's not even enough. When the car wants to brake, it just brakes, and there's no catching it. So the good thing is he didn't make any contact with anything there. So he will live to fight another day, but it will put him in the back of the field. Well, let's go take a look and see exactly what happened to Bob Fitzpatrick's right here. This is under caution. Wow, that's exciting. Okay. Let's see. That's what I wanted to see. Ron Fitzpatrick. Yeah, it looks like.
Yeah, look, he just got a little low there.
Yeah.
Got it loose, and then had Brinkley spinning in front of him, so he just decided to keep it down there.
What do you think that apron does to these cars? Is there enough transition in the banking there, David, for it to throw the balance of the car off, or do you think you'll see a lot of guys going down below the yellow line, trying to take the shortest way around the track?
I did see a few of them in practice trying it out. The yellow paint and small simulation rumble strip as we go back green here is a little loose as B gets out to a great start. But, I mean, if the car's tight, you can more than likely use that transition to help turn it. I mean, you see Nolan Potter there sticking those left sides. If you've run it, you've practiced it, I'm sure you could use it. But, if it's your first time going down there in the race, it might be a little hairy for sure.
Yeah, and you see Rusty Modesty started up front there and has fallen back and lost several positions, probably 5 or 6 positions since the start. And Kevin Zappledale gets around him there. Now Will Brinkley is starting to tell the field is going around him. I'm wondering if Rusty is having a setup issue because, man, he just dropped like a rock within 2 laps, fell to the tail of the field.
He also may be doing a little tire saving here.
Yeah.
You could probably make it. Oh, well, there goes the tire saving if he was doing any, as he loops it down around the back straightaway.
I wonder if we stay green. Yeah, under green.
He grabs the gear and goes. So.
Yep. True sign of a driver right there. You never know if a caution's going to come out, and there's your leader right behind him. So he's got about a half a lap gap, so he's going to be wanting a caution soon. I'm wondering if the stability or the control of that car is where it is, or if he is begging for a caution to go in and get a couple of changes there. But it's
he may the balance may be off. It may be a longer run car than than another, but they're just trying to hang on to here in the beginning till the setup rolls in, possibly.
Yeah. And you see right there, the field is pretty much gotten single file all the way around. You see Ryan Bean and Nolan Potter right behind him. And these guys, they're putting, a good half second in between them. Top three, last week's winner, Harold Watkins. And Bob Fitzpatrick Jr., even after getting a little loose and going off track there, our last and first caution, he's made his way up to fourth.
Yeah, he had a slight run in there with Rothery there going through 1 and 2 a few laps back, trying to get around a little bump and run action there going through 1. So we'll see if Harold can get back to it. Harold may be looking for a little retaliation here.
Yeah, and you remember last week, these guys, they were going at it, David, and there was a lot of action between Harold Rothery and Rusty Modesty, Harold Watkins, Will Brinkley. Those guys were battling it out all night long. Harold had several times where he was up front contending for the lead and had an incident, would get shuffled back and had to fight his way through the field several times. But these guys are getting pretty spread out. Nobody's putting too much pressure. I would say Will Brinkley's probably trying to get back to the front as quickly as possible. But if this stays long green flag runs, people are going to have a hard time fighting their way back up front.
Oh yeah, for sure. You're definitely going to see who's put the time in on their setup and who's not. Especially with these long green flag runs, if we get them. As you see here, Harold. Well, back up front, you got Ryan Bean just setting the pace. Nolan Potter in second, staying right with him. Harold Watkins in third, not too far back, and keep the guys in sight. So he's just there. If they slip up and make a mistake, he's there. The real battle you got here is for fourth with Robert Fitzpatrick Jr., Harold Rothery, and Will Brinkley.
Yeah, these guys, they're single file, nose to tail right now, but I have a feeling it's not going to stay that way as Harold Rothery gets loose. Almost spins it all the way around, but does the smart thing, catches the car, does a great job of keeping it off the wall and keeping it from coming to a complete stop. Slams that baby down a gear and gets going again. Is battling there with the 17 of Kevin Zabladell. That is our biggest mover in the night. Up 4 positions to 7th currently as he allows Harold Rothery there to get around and go fight. These guys, they're trying to look at the big picture, I'm sure, especially some of these guys that are up front. We look at guys like Ryan Bean, Nolan Potter, and Harold Watkins. They're in a tight points battle. We've got Rusty Modesty as our current points leader coming into tonight at 379 points. Ryan Bean with 377 points. Now, Ryan, I think, has led the points since week 3 of this season and hasn't looked back. Had a pretty good gap, but after taking the last 2 weeks off, it allowed Rusty Modesty and then the third place guy in the points, which is Harold Watkins, only 10 points back. Ryan Bean at 367. Nolan Potter's 4 more points back at 363. And Andrew Little, 355, is comfortably in 5th. So these guys are all within 24 points of each other. That could be anybody's win, especially with a road course next week and another 125 lap shootout for the end of the race. As Ryan Bean there comes up on Rusty Modesty, he will be putting him, the first car, a lap down as soon as he makes the pass. But that's also allowing Nolan Potter to get up there.
Yeah, Rusty not making it easy on him for sure. Rusty wanting to fight and hang on to that spot. Was trying to make Ryan go around the outside there, but looks like Ryan was able to get to the bottom there going into 1.
Yeah, and saw Rusty Modesty there. Car just almost break loose on him as Nolan Potter went around him. I don't think he likes the way that car is handling, but I bet he is begging for a caution because we're lap 27 of 125 tonight here at Langley Speedway, presented by Potter County Diggers. These guys, it's catching up. If you look a little bit behind them, look at this battle here starting to heat up, and got some new Harold Watkins had a good half a second gap between 4th, and now Will Brinkley and Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. Are right on his tail.
Yeah, Brinkley was able to get around Fitzpatrick Jr. there a few laps ago, and now set his sights on Harold Watkins trying to get back up there to the front, and where he started after the little incident off of 2. Harold, though, running that bottom line, protecting it. You got Rusty on the outside. Will taking a move down here into one. Use an
close.
apron
Yep.
best he can.
Oh, almost made contact.
Not able to get the drive. Yeah, that's the only thing about going into the bottom there. You can't get the drive off that you need, especially with that transition coming off the turn. And that little loss of momentum there has allowed Fitzpatrick Jr. to catch up and challenge Brinkley now.
Yeah, and that is the ERN bumper cam. Looking back from Harold Watkins' view, you see how close those cars are getting in the corners. And, Will's running just a little bit different line than Harold is. And, we've seen this a few times with Will Brinkley. Him get shuffled to the back for whether it be a spin out or a pit strategy, and then fight his way through the field. And you always wonder, is it going to tear up too much equipment? Meaning, is he going to eat up his tires trying to get back up front? Well, we'll have to wait and see, because we've gone green since our very first caution on lap 6, and I don't see the way these guys are spread out. You're probably going to have some long green flag runs tonight, David.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you got the little group here with Watkins, Brinkley, and Fitzpatrick Jr. You got your two up front with Bean and Potter. But, barring any good crazy, these guys seem to be pretty much content to ride. Maybe stick your nose there whenever it just is blatantly obvious you've got room, but nobody's really pushed the issue yet.
Yeah, and we'll throw this graphic up on the screen here. This will kind of give you an idea as we're on board there with the 22 of Harold Watkins. If you look at that diagram on the right-hand side, that'll kind of show you where everybody is on the track. So everybody, for the most part, other than this little cluster right here, is pretty spread out. So as long as they continue to run their lines, hit their marks, that's what is going to be more conducive to long green flag runs, because you're not running close contact with a bunch of cars. So this really could be very bad for people like Rusty that really need a pit stop to go in and make some adjustments, get that car back to the way he wants it. But it looks like the battle for the lead is starting to heat up just a little bit too.
Yeah, Nolan's been stalking Ryan here for the past 10 laps or so, just essentially running his tire tracks, maybe learning a little bit, trying to figure out where he's a little bit better than Ryan, where he needs to improve. Maybe just setting up for later in the run, later in the evening to get around him.
Yeah, and a driver that has been extremely quiet tonight, that Baby Blue 68, Dick Little right there. He is one of the contenders usually week in and week out, but I've noticed there's just some tracks that he does not like, or it doesn't suit his driving style, because he is the next car. We take an aerial shot here in the Goodyear blimp cam. That's that's Dick Little in the Baby Blue. There's Ryan Bean right behind him. So about 10, 12 car lengths behind him, and he'll be the next car to go a lap down, and that'll put 9 cars on the lead lap and 2 a lap down.
Yeah, and coming to the shot there at the very end of it is the 22 of Harold Watkins here. He was falling back racing with Will Brinkley and Robert Fitzpatrick Jr., and I'm not sure if Ryan slowed the pace down or if Watkins and Brinkley, Watkins and Brinkley have kicked it up a notch, but they are running these front two down.
Yeah, they are. And like you said, I don't know if they're kind of pulling back a little bit, trying to conserve their car for a longer run, or if Harold's car setup is kind of made for those long runs. When we have been to several of these short tracks throughout the season, and they always do 125 laps, and we have seen 60, 70, 80 lap runs under green. So a lot of these drivers, you're going to set it up in one of three ways, really. You're going to set it up for a short run, a long run, or kind of hopefully, a 40, 50 lap run and then expecting breaks. So some of these guys, you're going to see their cars really come in as the longer the run goes on. And you got a battle right here. Nolan's starting to flirt with that inside line to get around Bean, and I'm wondering if Bean is either conserving or if his car is starting to fall off as well.
Yeah, you see the exit speed there coming off of 2 that Nolan was able to get, just essentially run him down. The same thing here with this view. Nolan was able to get that drive off the bottom there and pull out and pull past Ryan and still clear him here off of 4. And Harold is the next one to clear him, and then Will will be right behind him. Looks like Ryan might go from first to fourth here in a matter of a lap.
And it's exactly what we saw at the beginning of the race, or after that first caution with Rusty Modesty, just basically taking it over into the slow lane and allowing the field to go by. So this could be one of two things. It could be either by design, he's just trying to save his car for a longer run, or that car could really be falling off. And I bet a lot of these drivers are begging for a caution at this point to go in and make some adjustments. They know we're 50 laps into this. They know what they have now, so they can make adjustments to set them up for the end.
Yeah, and too, we spoke with Ryan there before the race, after the pole interview. His main concern was Rusty, and Rusty having the issues already being the lap down. Ryan said he was going to keep the nose clean, not push it. He understood what he needed to do tonight to take over the points lead going into the final two races. So he may just be playing it smart here. He's seen that Nolan and Harold and all them had a little bit quicker pace than what he was willing to run, and just said, listen, guys, I'll let you go. I don't need to fight you right now. We still got, 75 laps to go, so what's the point?
Yeah, and you see him get around Will Brinkley there, back up into the top three. And, with no stage points and these bonus points, these guys really the only way to get points is by your finishing position. So every spot is going to matter as you see Nolan Potter.
Oh, Nolan had an issue there. They had an issue off of 4.
Yeah, and he is slowing way down off the pace as well. And, this is odd. That's the third driver we've seen now kind of pull it into the right lane and allow the field to go by. And he tucks back in behind Ryan Bean. And again, these guys are sharp enough. I think this is by design.
Oh, Nolan, going back and look at the footage, Nolan got in the wall off of 4. Ran a little wide there and bounced the right side off of it. So got real lucky there to keep it up top and not collect Harold or anybody behind him. But looks like not too much damage. He's able to tackle on the back here in 4th. But, yeah, he did definitely catch the wall off of 4.
Well, let's go see if we can take a quick look. Right, coming into this next turn, if I'm not mistaken. Using that apron there. Go back too far. Oh, nope, right here. Yeah, right there at the flag stand, you see him make contact with the wall. And Ryan Bean had to check up as well because he was in Ryan's lane that he was running. And, man, that could have been disastrous, but good job for keeping it under control. He regains his 4th place position. And top 2, Harold Watkins, Will Brinkley, still nose to tail, and Ryan Bean is starting to creep his way back into the picture, but doing the 3rd. Well, folks, we're almost at the halfway point in this race, so let's go take a quick break. You won't miss a thing because you'll be on ERN side by side, but we'll be back after these words from our sponsor.
Casey's calling me over. Says he
The story's on. Who's
I
that?
have done. I got it! I got it! Oh my god! I'm back. Look at this bad boy.
All right, welcome back, folks, to the U.S. Legends Open Series live from Langley Speedway. And you were witnessing all the action there on our ERN side-by-side, and you saw Will Brinkley get underneath Harold Watkins there and try to throw it in there at full send and almost lost it. Had to back out of it a little bit, and then that allowed Ryan Bean to get around him as well. So we've got, the same 4 cars running up front. They just they change order every once in a while.
Yeah, these guys, they've all raced together so much. They're just essentially swapping back and forth. Harold's loving it out front, though. I mean, he's seeing these guys go side by side, beating and banging, and like, hey, listen, y'all keep doing that. I'm gonna keep running away.
Yep, we've gone over 55 laps green up to this point. So let's go through the field, starting with our leader, Harold Watkins, last week's winner from Kalamazoo, Michigan. He's got his first win last week in the league. He has secured himself a third place coming into tonight in the points. As you see right there, Will Brinkley trying to get underneath him, and Will is throwing some dive bombs in that apron to try to get there. Will, one of the drivers that was running up front early in the season, took a few weeks off, came back, but doing well, and I think he's trying to fight his way into that top three, within fighting distance of the points.
Yeah, running third is our currently sitting second in points, 2 points back of Rusty Modesty, is Ryan Bean. We made mention he had the lead going in, picked it up week 3, lost it, I believe, last week. He was out 2 weeks doing his duty, military duty. We thank him for that, but he's showing having an impressive run here tonight, running third. Just looking to do what he needs to do to get that points lead back going into the next week. Fourth is Harold Rothery in the 4. I believe he's just outside the points here, top 5 in points. He might be 5th in points, but good showing from here tonight. He's just quietly been there, steady, just not really making too much noise, and just keeping up here with the lead pack.
And right behind him, you saw Nolan Potter from Grand Forks, North Dakota. He made contact with that wall after battling up front for much of the first half of the race. Comes off forward, makes a little contact with the wall. Ever since then, I don't think he's had the speed in that car that he's wanting. And as I say that, he gets right up to the bumper of Ryan Bean. But he's running to 5th place. Good, solid point snipe for him. He's 4th in points, just a few back, and he is really making a run for the end of the season. Right behind him, guy that's been pretty quiet all night, Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. He had a little dust up early at that caution that came out at lap 6. Got a little loose, went off track for just a second, but been slowly, each and every lap, working his way back up front, doing a good job in 6th position.
In 7th, you got the 17 of Kevin Zabadil. From the hometown favorite there on Ryan's end. Just having just a quiet night. Not really too close to these guys. He's about 4 seconds back for that lead group. Not sure if he's just not happy with the car tonight or just missed the setup, but he's just out there turning laps tonight. In 8th, you got Robert Fitzpatrick Sr., who's right here. Looks like you're going to get lapped. You see Harold Watkins peeking to the inside of him. Senior just turning laps tonight. Just maybe missed the setup as well. Maybe him and Zab got together and just picked the wrong one tonight.
Yeah, and these tracks, it's so you think that a 3 or 4/10 mile of track or half-mile track, relatively close in looks and design. I'll just throw my setup in here from week 2. But man, each one of these tracks have their own characteristics. And as you see, Rusty Modesty, one of those guys that came in tonight with the points lead by 2 points over Ryan Bean, having a struggle of a night tonight. Started up front, was running up front and for about 10 laps, and then just fell like a rock. Currently sitting at 9th position. Right behind him, another driver that I don't think has the setup that or the car just isn't coming to him the way he wants. Andrew Little, just been, again, just like Kevin Zab, quiet, but just been out clicking off laps and doing what he's doing. And rounding out the field in 11th, our new daddy, Jerry Colbert, running in 11th position from Tacoma, Washington. Again, Jerry and his wife just had their baby from yesterday to today. I think it was about 12:30 a.m. on the West Coast. Baby James. So congratulations to the entire family. Congratulations to Jessica and to Sherry. I know she just wants more of them grandbabies running around. So Congratulations to the whole family. Glad everything went well and baby is healthy. So back up front, it's Harold Watkins, the same ones, but I want to talk about this guy right here, Dave. Harold Rothery, you know, went to the back, started up, you know, in that third position as you see Andrew Little there. Lost it. Spun right there at the exit of pit road, but quickly gathered it up, slammed it down in gear, and took off.
Yeah, you mean you're talking about Harold there. You know, Harold had some issues in the beginning, and it was that towards the back, and has worked his way up front here. And he's running down these leaders. I mean, he looks like he has the long run car that is needed for the way the night's going. So I'll be impressed to see what he does here in the next 40 or so laps.
Yeah, because it's time to go now. You know, we've got about 41 laps to go, and that may sound like a lot, but that'll be over in no time. But, you know, we're watching from the front bumper cam of Harold Rothery here, and you kind of get to see exactly the line that all of these guys are running. You see Will takes a higher entry there, kind of kisses that apron, and then gets right back into the throttle. These guys are all running different lines, but running very similar lap times. So it's go time, though, for these guys.
Yeah, and on that bumper cam, you can see, you know, Will Brinkley's feeling the same thing. He knows it's go time. I bet you Harold's driving more out his mirror right now than he is out the front windshield. You know, Brinkley was putting it on him there for a couple laps, backed off, and probably try to regather it up, and then go make another run. But if he waits too long, he's going to be under fire from Harold Rothery here.
Yeah, as you see right there from the backside of Will Brinkley's car, Harold Rothery is getting to his bumper every single corner, and he's just waiting for Will to make a mistake. And this is where a lot of drivers is right there. You saw it happen. Rothery gets underneath him and makes the pass. That's where a lot of drivers make the mental mistake. I know I personally have made that driving out of my mirror a problem. When, you know, good friends of mine that tried to help me get better in the sim, drive beyond your hood pins. Don't drive in that mirror. And because you start really making a bunch of mistakes, and you're the only one to blame for them. They're mental mistakes.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You know, you ask anybody, most people would rather be the attacker rather than the defender. You know, it's so much easier to run second and go chase somebody down than it is to be out front and try to guess or, you know, just try to defend that first position, especially when somebody's quicker. What you seen there with Will Brinkley, I'm pretty sure going off into one, Will said, "Hey, Harold, you go ahead, you go up here and get Harold Watkins," because you know, it looked like Will just kind of gave him the bottom there and said, "Here, go on by, and I'll follow behind you, see if we can't go get him."
Yeah, I think a lot of these guys too, you know, if they know that their car is not there and they're looking at the big picture now, you know, it's not like the first half of the season where they could afford to take some risk and recover from it. We're 3 races, including tonight, from this first season being over. So I would rather have a 3rd place podium finish than a 10th place DNF. So, you know, I think some of these guys are really starting to look, and that's probably why we haven't had but one caution tonight at lap 6. It's because a lot of these drivers are starting to really look at the bigger picture.
Oh, for sure. You know, it's getting down. You know, you can't take the risk like you did before. As you see here, Will Brinkley getting underneath Harold Rothery. Look like Will possibly gave Harold the chance to, "Here, listen, you were on my bumper. I'm going to let you go if you can go make time. But if not, I'm taking it back." And that seems like what just happened there as Will Brinkley gets around Harold Rothery. But in doing this, it's allowed Harold Watkins to step out to about a 2nd lead here. You know, it was down. They were beating his bumper down not too long ago, and now he's got a quarter advantage on him right now. So it'll be interesting to see what Will can do if he can go run him down, and if Harold can latch onto the back of Will and carry on up there with him.
Yeah, as you see, there's a pretty good gap now between 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Everybody got a nice little gap, and Will Brinkley, it looks like he's found another gear in that car, and he knows that it's go time. You know, with basically 29 laps to go, the lap traffic may be an issue coming up, and some of these drivers may be able to use that lap traffic as a pick to get around them. But right now, Harold Watkins is trying to fend off Will Brinkley, and Will is, let's see what their last lap times are as we go by. Oops. Let's throw this up. So Will Brinkley is about a tenth or so faster than Harold Watkins last time by, and it seems like to be the same consistency for the last few laps. So he's about to get to the front bumper of the 22 car there, and with 26 to go, it's go time. And these guys, man, he's running about 2/10 faster now, but Will Brinkley is off pace. Wow, Jerry Culver to go back.
I think Jerry's got some new shoes on there.
Gotcha.
I believe. Jerry's showing 2 laps down. That or maybe he just had a extremely long run car, and it's just now coming to him because, I mean, he is turning some of the fastest lap times of the night out here right now. So,
yeah,
I'm
Jerry
not sure if he went to pits
pit.
or.
Yeah, he
okay,
did
that's
pit.
what it is. Then.
And I think he did on lap 64 is what I'm showing. But yeah, so he does have some new shoes, but this could present a problem here for Will Brinkley. Harold Watkins loves it because that kind of puts the distance between first and second. And Will Brinkley, if he's having to battle with some other cars, it's going to keep him from getting to, and as I say that, gets right up to the bumper of Harold Watkins there.
Yeah, he's staying close. You know, Jerry coming through there and with the new shoes on and going past him is fine, but now that's going to, you know, present another obstacle in front of Harold since Harold Watkins, since he got around him. So, these guys running for position up here right in front of the guys, right in front of our leaders here is going to be interesting for sure.
Oh, yeah. And you see scrolling across the bottom is your pit road ticker. That is any time a driver is on pit road, you will see their name pop up on the bottom, and I'll tell you how long that they have been sitting in there. As we talked about this just a few minutes ago, these leaders are going to have to tend with some lap traffic, and it is a hornet's nest right there with several of these guys. And Will Brinkley gets underneath Harold Watkins, and Harold's trying to go in for the crossover, and Will Brinkley hard into the wall, and Harold Watkins, ouch. That is exactly what these guys did not want to see, and Harold makes contact with another car, Harold. Let's go back and take a quick look and see exactly what happened, David. We saw this on a Bruin for the last few laps.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We knew that was coming.
See, Will gets the launch there. Harold comes for the crossover, makes contact, tire to tire, and that sends Will Brinkley right into the wall. Let's go take one more look at it from.
Yeah, it looks like Will clears him there off into 3. And Harold just not able to hold it down there. From that angle, I couldn't really tell. The previous angle was better. Looks like maybe Harold just couldn't quite hold it down there on the apron and got into the left rear of Will Brinkley there out of 4.
And Harold gets contact from Andrew Little and Kevin Zabladell. Rusty Modesty also involved on that one. And Andrew Little, I mean, these guys are all over. But it looks like the field more than likely will all be coming to pit road right now, getting a fresh set of shoes. These guys
for
are
sure.
finishing up their pit stops. We're going to go step away. And you won't miss anything, folks, because we'll be going ERN side by side. We'll be back in just a second.
There are currently 2 million American spouses and children whose family member was killed or disabled in defense of our country, which is why I founded the Folds of Honor, providing educational scholarships to the families of 1% of the Americans who protect our freedom.
Thank you for supporting the Folds of Honor.
Thank you for supporting the Folds of Honor.
Please join our squadron today. Your $13 a month speaks volumes and changes lives forever.
All right, welcome back, folks, to the U.S. Legends Open Series here at Langley Speedway. And been a pretty calm night all night long. And then all of a sudden the fireworks started. As me and Dave were just talking during the commercial break there, it looks like Harold Watkins, Will Brinkley were battling it out. They know the end of the race was coming very soon. They make contact. Harold Watkins is going to regain himself a 4th place spot so far. but the one that really is not going to be the happy one would be Will Brinkley, as he is still, I think he may have even, I think he may have already taken that car to the garage. And Ryan Bean, Nolan Potter back up front. Ryan gets a great launch, and Harold Rothery does too, and Nolan's going to fall back to third spot.
Yeah, the two that love to see that caution there was the 28 of Ryan Bean and the 4 and Harold Rothery. As we have another caution here, just immediately. Looks like we had the catch. We had Fitzpatrick on Fitzpatrick crime here in the back.
Fitz on Fitz. Let's go take a look and see exactly what happened. Those two cars right there, son and dad. Fitzpatrick Jr. going on the high side there. Looks like Senior may have just washed up. Let's go take a look from the back angle here. You see Senior. Oh, you saw the front end of that car twitch just a little bit as he goes into corner entry. And I think that was him trying to regain control of the car. Probably let off a little bit and it pushed him up. But yeah, it's, with only 6 drivers, I'm showing on the lead lap with a handful of laps to go. It's going to be a little bit of a drag race between these top 4 drivers.
Oh, for sure. I don't know. Who knows? We might not know the backstory there. The son might have pissed Dad off this weekend. That was a little payback there. So might not have come over to help him do something he needed him to do. So, but yeah, like you said, we got 6 drivers here on the lead lap. It's going to be a dash. Like we were saying before the caution come out, Harold Rothery in the 4 and Ryan Bean in the 28 were the 2 beneficiaries of this caution. They had dropped back. They weren't making the progress that they were before. So, for them to come in, we knew they showed the short run speed. So, these 2 guys should be interested to see what they can do here in these last 10 or so laps.
Yeah, and Jerry Culver has cycled his way back onto the lead lap. So, with him being the last car on the lead lap, he's going to have a really good, a good points night for himself, because that's the worst. If this thing goes green, that's probably the worst spot he can get with the rest of the drivers on back being 1 or more laps down. So he's just kind of got to put this thing in cruise control, go out and hit his marks, and he'll have a good points night. But it's all Ryan Bean back up front for the back half of this race. Haven't really talked much about him. Seen him back there 3rd to 5th spot and kind of cycling his way through. But Harold Rothery is the guy that we were kind of highlighting a few laps ago. He's going to have himself a shot to go out and get his first victory this season. And talking about wins this season, we've got Ryan Bean with 5 wins, Harold Watkins with 1, Nolan Potter with 1, Andrew Little with 2, and Will Brinkley with 1. And then who won Myrtle Beach? Do you remember?
Oh, I've slipped since then. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't remember either. But anyways, that's all your current winners. So I know Ryan Bean's looking to get, back on top of the mountain and take the points lead. But you got a lot of 100 drivers behind him as they take off. Ryan Bean gets a good launch, but so does Harold Rothery. And Harold takes it wide and trying to dive down to the bottom to get a fast exit. And it looks like Harold Watkins going to lose some spots there. And Nolan Potter back up front contending.
Yeah, looks like they're off a 4.
Oh, there it is. That's what, man. Saw that in the making right there. Let's go take another look.
If we go back there just half a lap sooner, it was, Nolan had nowhere to go. Harold was losing that car off of 4.
All right, let's go a little further.
Harold had lost the rear end there off of 4. It was trying to gather it up, stack the field up, and then just nowhere to go off into 1.
So right there you saw him. He really had to check up, and Nolan Potter had all that momentum coming off the corner. Tried to keep his composure there through the corner and just makes contact. But as those two are spinning, we see Bob Fitzpatrick Sr. and Jerry Culver both come in and make contact. Kevin Zabladell having to go off field a little bit.
I'm pretty sure Kevin's brakes are just shot after that because he coming in at 100 miles an hour and just almost stopped on the dime.
Well, that's funny. Let's go take a look at this. I want to watch it from his perspective. Where are we at here? He had just went back on the pit road to get some services and was coming back off when this caution came out. And I think he's like, okay, dodged one bullet there. He has just not had the night that I know he wants tonight. But 5 laps to go. It's our third caution. It's going to get interesting because this is basically going to be a green-white checker.
Yeah, it'll be. They'll probably stack them. It'll be 2 to go. Yes, sir. They'll stack them with 3 to go.
Okay, so it's going to be a little 3-lap shootout. That did allow Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. to take the lucky dog and regain his spot back on the lead lap. So we have 7 drivers on the lead lap. But look who's up in third spot right there. New daddy to be, Jerry Culver. I know Jessica, baby James, both the girls and Sherry are watching and cheering him on. But with all of this swapping around in these late race cautions, David, that's allowed Jerry Culver to be in the catbird seat here. He's got the right line to start on that inside line. So if he times out that restart right, he could get on the bumper of Ryan Bean there and kind of push through and get around Harold Watkins and get up there and battle for his first win.
Oh, for sure. You start here behind Ryan. If he can time this start just right, get off and go, get underneath Harold, he'll be with him for sure.
Oh, and the field checks
backed up, yeah.
But they get going again, and we are coming to the
white flag, yeah. Coming to the white flag this time by.
And this right here will bring us the Fox Hills Lawn Care white flag. Go take a look as Ryan Bean and really doesn't have any battle. Nolan Potter a little off track, going wide, coming into 3 and out of 4. Ryan Bean will get another victory, probably take his points lead, and Jerry Culver and Harold Rothery coming to the line like a drag race, and Jerry getting a 3rd place finish, which means he will get a podium interview tonight. And I know Sherry and Jessica are 2 happy ladies out there right now.
Oh, for sure. You know, Jerry was at one point in time 2 laps down tonight, and for him to be able to battle back and come home 3rd, that was a heck of a showing out of him. Heck of a drive.
Yes, it was, but it was all Ryan Bean being at the right place at the right time. It didn't look like when we were on a 100-plus lap green flag run, didn't look like he had anything left in the tank for the leaders. He was going to come home with probably a solid 3rd, 4th place finish. Late race cautions changed the entire script. Jerry Culver was a lap down until those cautions came out, so it just really flipped the entire field. You know, Will Brinkley ends up coming home 11th when he was up there battling for the lead. So, man, the whole last 20 laps of this race were unbelievable. But right now, folks, we are going to go take a quick break. We'll be right back with your podium interviews.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
All right, welcome back, folks, to the U.S. Legends Open Series. And you just saw an extremely exciting finish here from Langley Speedway. These guys put it all out on the line. And we had, I guarantee you, if I were in Vegas and you told me that, the finishing order would end the way it did after watching the first 100 laps, I would have told you you're crazy, David. But one of probably the most excited guys for multiple reasons, and I'll let David share, is got to be our third place finisher tonight, Mr. Daddy, new Daddy, that is, Jerry Culver, and I think David has him.
Yeah.
Hey, Jerry, it's Ryan and David up in the booth. You got a copy?
How's it going?
Well, proud Papa for what, number 3 now?
Yes, sir.
So you just round it out with a third place finish. I mean, it's all about threes today, right?
Right. Perfect.
Well, to start off everything, all of us here at ERN and the tire racing community out here, just happy for you, proud of you. Congratulate you on a third baby, healthy baby. So, little James there, I'm sure he's out there watching with Jessica tonight. So, congratulations there. But, able to bring it home third tonight. Give us your take on the race.
Got a setup, and I worked on it with Ryan Bean before the race, and just told him I wanted to win and see what he could do to help me win, and just worked my butt off. And I think I ran like 213 laps before the even race started. So, I mean, I just worked at it and just tried to figure the track out.
Yeah, I mean, you did great there. We were wondering about the stop there about halfway through, about lap 60 or so. But, you were coming even then. You were able to unlap yourself, get one of your 2 laps back. And then with the late cautions there at the end, able to get the lucky dog. That turned out the strategy good. Looks like you restarted there third on that final restart and able to hold off Nolan Potter and Harold Rothery there in the final couple quarters. Any takeaways from tonight that you can roll over possibly into the final race over at Oxford?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been trying to just stay back at the beginning of the race. It's a long race, so I let everyone just kind of fight their way up, burn their shit up, and excuse my language, but just slowly just start picking at them. And I was trying to do that tonight, and it didn't work. So I got tires, and I was like, worst comes to worst, I can get my laps back by them not pitting, because I knew none of them wanted to pit. So I just kept digging and digging and digging, and I didn't mean to interrupt Harold. I didn't mean to dive bomb him, so I'm sorry there, bud. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah, we said you were definitely marching up to the field really quickly and doing it smart. So we got the Summit Point next week, road course. What are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to work at it all week, so that's all I got.
So not looking forward to that one too much, huh?
Yeah, I'm an oval guy. I like ovals. It's challenging to get on a road course you've never done before, so.
All right, well, we'll let you get out of here. Before we let you get out of here, anybody you want to say thanks to or give shout-outs to, congratulations, or sponsors? Mike is yours.
I want to thank my mom. She's always there for me. She's watching my girls right now. They're watching TV, so hi to you guys. She's my biggest fan. My wife probably watching, and so
yeah, Jessica's out there. She made comments out and on the broadcast, so she's out there watching with James.
So just thanks to everyone that tunes in and watches me. So,
well, man, we'll let you get out of here and go celebrate the third place finish. Go kiss the new baby and the wife, and hopefully talk to you next week at Summit Point.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
There's your third place finisher. Sounds excited, probably a little worn out from being up, and Jared Culver getting a podium finish there, and after the way that race ended, you just never know. That's something that we tell people all the time in racing is never give up, because you just don't know. Jerry comes into with 25 laps to go. He's a lap down. No end in sight. They've gone almost 100 laps green. And next thing you know, getting a third place finish just by being there at the end and having a chance. So congratulations again to the Culver family. But I think now we have our second place finisher. And let's talk to him, which is last week's winner, Harold Watkins. So we'll see if we can't get a word with him. Hey, Harold, this is Ryan and David up in the ERM booth. You got a copy?
Hey, how's it going?
What's going on, man? Well, last week's winner led a lot of laps tonight. We had such a huge flip upside down there the last 20 laps of this race with those cautions and the way things were panning out. Are you happy with your second place finish, or are you kind of bummed out? Give us your thoughts on tonight overall.
I mean, overall, I'm pretty happy. I wish it probably would have stayed green, but I probably would have finished second there anyway. But, I had a really good long run car, and, it is what it is. It was just a racing incident there, and unfortunate, but it happens.
Yeah, we watched, a majority of the race where we would see drivers that would be up front, and then it's like the top four of you guys between you, Will, Ryan, and Nolan. It's kind of flip-flopping spots all throughout the night, and we didn't know because the car was at the setup and the car was kind of, losing it on the tail end of the field. It seemed like your car was the opposite, though. As the run went on, your car got faster. You had Will battling there on your rear bumper before that last caution came out, but man, you guys were battling. Was your car getting to a point where you were able to take off?
Oh, my car still felt really good. I saved really hard at the beginning of the race and just tried to stay really consistent on my lines, kind of thinking, I usually blow off tires a little bit. I'm just gonna lay back, let people run it off like some people do, just because these setups can be a little tricky. So I just laid back and kind of just stayed consistent. And man, I still felt really good, 100 laps in. So I felt like I was getting better. Line was pretty consistent, but yeah, just long runs, I felt really, really, really comfortable.
Well, the car looked good, and walk us through that last incident there. It's like you guys were having to, and we'd brought it up before it actually happened. We knew the lap traffic was going to be a factor in some way, shape, or form, whether it's, somebody using one of them as a pick to get around, to take a position, or if, in fact, it was going to do exactly what it did, which is lead to an incident there on the track. Looked like you guys were just crossing over each other, going in for it, and you just make the slightest contact there with the 47. It sends you guys both spinning. So a hell of a rebound, but walk us through that whole, was it tense? What's going on in your mind right there, knowing that all that's going down with 20 to go?
Yeah, so Jerry was coming on fresh tires, and he just was so much faster. So he took the bottom there. I had to move up, and then we kind of came up on those other lap cars, and Will took advantage of the situation. I kind of figured he was going to try to dive it in there. At some point, I was blocking definitely pretty hard. Just, the bottom lane is the preferred lane. But and then I just tried to really square off the corner, dove it in, trying to get it back from him, thinking, oh, you know what? This is for the race. If I don't do something, he's going to go because that lap traffic's there and it's going to be tough to get around him and stay on his bumper. But yeah, it was tense because he was on me. I got a second lead out there for a bit, and he just got right back up to me, pushing pretty good, and knew it was coming. Just tried to do all I can to, keep the lead, and sucks, but I hate that it happened, but it is what it is.
Just part of it, man. It's part of racing. And, well, you look ahead next week. You've got a road course, and then we go to Oxford for the last race of the season, similar track to here tonight at Langley. Man, you're going to have a great points night. You're only 10 back of Ryan Bean coming into this. And Rusty Modesty having a rough night tonight, so this could allow you to push up and get very close to taking number second spot in points. So overall, great night for you and your team. So congratulations on that. Before we let you go, I want to give you an opportunity to give any shout outs, thank yous. The mic is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Road course is going to be tough, but try to rebound a little bit at Oxford. But thank you to my family for, letting me race on Monday nights, and thanks to Nolan for working hard with me on this setup. It was really, really good. Thanks to you guys for a great broadcast, and thanks to Rusty for a really great league.
Awesome. Well, have a great week. Congratulations again on your podium finish, and we'll be seeing you next week at Summit Point.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
And that's your second place finisher, Harold Watkins there. Good overall night, where he was in the lead, and with all the calamity that was taking place there at the end of the race, you would have thought that Harold would have finished in the back where Will did. But, man, he fought hard, and he got back up front. But right now, I think David has got our race winner, the one and only Ryan Bean, with him. So, David.
Hey, Ryan, it's David and Ryan up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. So glad to hear you guys.
Oh man, I hadn't heard you for 2 weeks. We're gonna start flipping these around. Maybe next week, next time you win, we'll interview first place first because we always gotta wait the longest every time you show up.
Nah, that's all right. You gotta save the best for last. You know.
Well, man, I mean, we seen you there. Start out front, started on pole, talked to you there. You led the first, 20, 30 laps. Then we seen you sliding back to about fourth or fifth there. Take us through that. Was the car going away from you?
Yeah, I think me and Nolan were talking about it. We both just drove the tires off the car, overheated, out of grip, and I kind of I started to save a little bit, let everybody pass me, and just kind of hope it would come back, and it kind of did. But I think the damage was already done, and I really needed a caution.
Yeah. Whenever that caution there towards this caution started coming out towards the end of the race there, we even made mention on the broadcast that the two biggest ones, the benefactors from that, were you and the four of Harold Rothery. You had been up there running, pacing the field there for the front half, and all of a sudden you just dropped back to, fourth, fifth, sixth, and we're just falling off, couldn't keep pace. So outside of that, take us through the last, 20 laps there towards the end, getting the tires and then be able to come back up through the field.
Yeah, it sucks the caution happened with some leaders, because then, some of them are involved, so you got some free spots. It's good for me, but, I hate it for Harold and Will. But, the new tires, I knew I had a really good short run car, which was totally not what we were aiming for tonight. And but once I saw the caution, I knew I had a shot at this, and I knew Nolan would have a shot at it. But I think he got mixed up in one of the cautions. But I knew and then somehow I got the lead coming out of the pits, actually, and that confused me a little bit. But I took it, and I was happy. And but those first few laps are so scary, man, because the car is just ready to spin. This thing is set up to where you touch the throttle or the apron or anything, you're spinning out. So it was very hard fought. I'm not going to say I earned it completely. I got a little lucky with the cautions and the pit cycles and stuff, but we'll take it. Helps with the championship.
Oh, for sure. That should put you back up top with Rusty having an off night tonight, finishing eighth. That should definitely put you back up at the top of the leaderboard. Take us through that too. We were looking at it throughout the night. Just how beneficial was running the apron, getting down below that yellow, makeshift rumble strip. Was that beneficial to you at all?
Oh yeah, all day. I think you pretty much need it in order to turn the car in any of these turns. You can use it in turn 4, like right there where the pit entry starts. You could really get the car turned there and punch it. And then pretty much the same thing in turn 2. And if you hit the apron just right, man, it turns that car, and it's nice. But if you just miss it by a hair, you're spinning out. And I don't think that happened to anybody tonight. So props on all the drivers, because this is not an easy track to drive.
Yeah. There was a couple of opportunities, a couple of times that we made mention and caught video of it. The guys getting loose, but for the most part, everybody held on to it, drove a phenomenal race throughout the entire field. So this is win number, I believe, 6 on the season. We've got Summit Point next week. What's your thoughts of that one? You claim to be the road course ringer here of the group. You're looking forward to that one?
I have never driven a lap there, so this is going to be fun. I don't know anything about it. I don't know where it's even at in real life, so it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna have to practice a little bit, and I think it could really be anybody's game. Andrew Little he's figured these things out on road courses, so he's definitely the guy I've got circled to be a big threat. If I'm not the threat, he'll be the threat.
Well, that's win number 6 tonight. Took 2 weeks off and then show back up and put it right back up front, right where you've been all season. Congratulations on that. Before we let you get out of here and go celebrate, anybody you want to say thank you to or give a shout out to?
Yeah, first off, I want to congratulate Jerry on having his baby, and then going putting it on the podium, man. That guy, he was in here since 8 o'clock, right when the session opened, trying to fix setup. I was helping him as much as I could, and I'm happy to see he was able to fight some adversity. I think he underfueled the car, so he had to pit on green flag. So that just shows you how determined he was tonight. So congrats to him on the podium and the baby, more importantly. And next, the league, Rusty. This is a hell of a show. Can't wait for the rest of the season and next season, hopefully. And these guys, I love racing these guys, man. This is definitely one of my favorite leagues that I'm in, and these guys are super fun to be with, super funny to talk to. I mean, that's half the fun is just messing around with the guys at Discord, and you guys up in the booth, man. It's top tier. You guys are easily the best that I've ever seen, and can't wait to watch this one back.
Well, man, we appreciate the thanks. We'll let you get out of here and go celebrate with the team, and more than likely, hopefully, be talking to you again out at Summit Point next week.
Yeah, that's the plan. Have a good night, guys.
All right, later, man.
Well, that's your race winner right there. Ryan Bean getting win number 6 tonight. Tonight for the season. Out of 14 races, they've only raced 12 so far, so he's got a 50% winning percentage this season, and he has a pretty good chance next week, even though he has not ran that track there, David. The guy knows how to drive road courses, so we'll see how everything plays out. But right now, it's time for us to go take a look at the finishing order and see where your favorite driver finished up tonight here at Langley Speedway. Your race winner, Ryan Bean, for win number 6 this season. Harold Watkins, last week's winner, rounding out the second spot. Just heard right there from Ryan Bean, one of his competitors, saying Jerry Culver overcame a lot of adversity tonight to get his first podium finish of the season. Harold Rothery, all over, kind of up front for the latter part of the race, really fighting hard, gets a solid 4th place finish. And Nolan Potter rounding out our top 5 in the 34 car for Stealth Motorsports.
Finishing 6th was the 3 of Robert Fitzpatrick Jr. Seen him up front towards the beginning half, but then fell back, got into a couple of incidents there, and no fault of his own, and just fell back. Robert Fitzpatrick Sr. finished 7th in the 48. Rusty Modesty had an off night tonight in the 6th. Was hoping to stay up front, battle for the lead, try to keep that points lead, just didn't have it tonight. Andrew Little in the 68 finished 9th. Kevin Zab in the 17 finished 10th. Both of them having just late race issues, just not quite what they wanted out of the car tonight, not able to find that balance. And then rounding out the field is the 47 to Will Brinkley. We see him getting an incident there with Harold Watkins there battling for the lead there towards the end.
Yeah, and coming into 2 races left, a road course, and then finishing the season off at Oxford Plains. I know after speaking with the league owner this week, David, they've got some exciting announcements coming up in the next week or so about the second season. So we'll be bringing you all of that information as it becomes available. But it's time for us, folks, to go crawl into bed and see if we can't, I know David's doing it, I'm doing it as soon as this show is over, see if we can't sleep off this crud. It seems like it just won't go away. So we want to thank everybody for joining us tonight here on Evolution Racing Network from Langley Speedway with the U.S. Legends Open Series. Hope you enjoyed all the action that you got to see, and if you did, make sure you hit that like and follow and subscribe to us. Turn on those notifications so every time we go live, you won't miss a single lap. Tomorrow night, you've got the RSR Cup Series live from
Bristol,
the Bristol Bowl 200 tomorrow night. So you want to check that out over on our Facebook page at Evolution Racing Network. That'll be kicking off at about 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. So check that out. And Thursday, we'll be back for the Thursday Night Throwdown doubleheader. Till next week, folks, you guys have a great one, and it was an absolute pleasure.
Later, guys.